When we hear about spiritual awakening, the image that usually forms in our minds is one of serenity, deep meditations, a constant state of peace, and a kind of almost heavenly glow. Many people believe that once you reach that level of consciousness, everything becomes clear, balanced, and incredibly easy. But the truth, for those who are truly walking this path, is very different. Spiritual awakening isn't a straight road to perfection. It's an intense, often chaotic journey where old patterns collapse in order for something new to rise. Instead of unshakable peace, it often brings a whirlwind of change. Some shifts so deep and unexpected, they can leave you feeling like the ground has disappeared beneath your feet. And these transformations don't just affect your mind or emotions. They show up in your physical body, your daily routines, your relationships, even in the way you perceive reality. And the curious part? Almost no one talks about this side of the awakening. Contrary to what most expect, awakening is full of contrasts. Moments of crystal clear insight are followed by periods of total confusion. Feelings of deep connection and wholeness give way to phases of emptiness and disconnection. One day, you might feel like you're touching the divine, and the next, completely lost, not even recognizing yourself. And that doesn't mean something's wrong. On the contrary, it means something powerful is happening. These highs and lows are reflections of the deep, energetic and spiritual restructuring taking place within you. It's like your soul is clearing the rubble, making space to rebuild a more authentic version of who you truly are. Every discomfort, every moment of uncertainty is a sign that you're shedding old layers, opening the way for your higher, truer self to emerge. And here comes one of the most intense and least understood as parts of this journey, the changes in your physical body. Yes, your physical body also feels the impact of spiritual awakening, and sometimes it starts screaming on the inside long before any outer sign appears. You might look in the mirror and not even recognize yourself. You might find yourself wondering, who is this person staring back at me? Changes in your facial expressions, shifts in weight, posture, and even in the vibration you give off become noticeable. And the most surprising part, people around you notice it too, even if they can't explain why. But there's a deeper reason behind all of this. The body is incredibly wise. During awakening, it begins a silent process of cleansing and realignment. Old traumas, suppressed emotions, hidden memories, all of it starts to be released energetically, even if you're not consciously aware of it. And when that dense energy begins to dissolve, the body responds. It's common, for example, to lose weight without doing any intentional physical effort. It's not a miracle, it's release. As you let go of emotional weight you've carried. For years, your body also sheds physical retention, trapped fluids, stress-related fat, chronic tension. This purification runs deep. And it's not just physical, it's emotional, energetic, and spiritual. You're letting go of what no longer belongs to you. You're coming home to your true self. And even if this process sometimes feels scary or uncomfortable, remember, your body knows exactly what it's doing. It's adapting to your soul's new frequency, preparing to hold a more expanded state of consciousness. So when the changes come, and they will come, don't fight them. Don't cling to appearances or temporary discomfort. Trust. Your body is working in your favor, even when your mind doesn't fully understand what's going on. Flowing with these transformations is one of the greatest acts of love you can offer yourself. And this is just the surface of the awakening. Because what comes after, the clarity, the expansion, the reconnection with your essence, is something far beyond anything you've ever imagined. Are you ready to keep going? As you continue walking the path of self-awareness and healing, something begins to shift quietly within you, and surprisingly, it's your body that sends the first signals. Without making a scene, it starts to react. It adjusts, it reorganizes, it purifies itself in ways that you might not even fully understand at first. But all of it has a purpose. Your body is preparing to hold the new frequency that your consciousness is rising into. It's realigning with your essence. And the most incredible part, your body knows exactly what it needs to do to release what no longer serves your evolution. Old traumas, unresolved emotions, limiting beliefs, all of it begins to surface, ready to finally be dissolved. That's why during this process, many people start noticing unexpected physical changes, one of the most common. Sudden weight loss. And no, we're not talking about diets or intense workouts. It's as if the body is letting go of invisible baggage. By releasing emotional weight and energies that have been stored over a lifetime, it also begins to shed physical retention, water, inflammation, stress-related fat, emotional blockages, or trauma silently stored in the body for years. It's a release on every level, and when this energetic cleansing starts to intensify, the transformation becomes visible. You realize you're not just losing weight, you're getting lighter. You're letting go of everything that no longer belongs to your new self. That dense energy, often a result of painful experiences, starts to be processed and released. And the reflection of that shift shows up in your body, but it's not always a straight line. There are moments when the body reacts in the opposite way, gaining weight, for example, due to water retention during a phase of energetic transition. But that too is part of the process. It's as if the body needs to protect or stabilize itself before it can fully let go. What matters most is not getting attached to the surface of these changes. It's not just about aesthetics. It's about what's unfolding within you. On much deeper levels, when you notice your body changing for no obvious reason, trust it. The natural intelligence within you is at work. It's healing, it's rebuilding, and many times your conscious mind can't even grasp the full magnitude of what's happening. So instead of resisting or trying to control, learn to flow. Embrace the movement, welcome the changes. Trusting the process is one of the greatest acts of love and courage you can offer yourself. And then something magical begins to happen. As this process of spiritual awakening deepens, one specific transformation becomes impossible to ignore: the eyes. We're not just talking about an aesthetic change, but something far deeper, almost unexplainable. The eyes, those windows to the soul, begin to reflect the inner clarity you're reclaiming. It's as if, after years of being veiled by pain, conditioning, and heavy memories, they can finally see with clarity. During this process of purification, the dense energy that built up over the years begins to dissolve, and as it fades away, your inner light begins to shine again. Suddenly, the eyes take on a new glow, a living presence. They appear more awake, more intense, more aware. And those who look at you feel it, even if they don't understand. Why? That glow is the reflection of release. It's a visible sign that something powerful is moving within you, that blockages are being lifted, and that you are becoming more whole. The clarity that arises isn't just mental. It permeates your entire being, and the eyes are one of the first channels to reveal it. That's the beauty of spiritual awakening. It transforms you from the inside out, and little by little, everything begins to align with who you truly are. Over time, as your awakening deepens, your eyes, once just a feature of your face, begin to transform into portals. The color seems to shift, the sparkle lights up, and the gaze, once ordinary, now carries an energy that's almost indescribable. Sometimes the change is subtle, other times it's striking, impossible to ignore. But what truly draws people in isn't just the way your eyes look, it's the vibration they carry. They begin to radiate truth, a silent peace. and a direct connection to something much deeper, your very soul essence, the glow that emerges, the clarity that takes hold. They aren't just side effects. They're proof of healing, healing of old wounds, of unprocessed memories, of beliefs that once held you captive in smaller versions of yourself. And when you finally begin to release those burdens, something clears, and that clearing overflows through your eyes. It's as if, when you look into the eyes of someone who's gone through this process, you don't just see the person, you see their soul, unfiltered, unmasked. And that happens because during a true spiritual transformation, the energy around a person shifts. It becomes lighter, clearer, purer, and the eyes, the mirrors of the soul, begin to reflect that inner light. It's not just the gaze itself, it's what lies behind it. There's no longer the weight of hidden fears or layers of unspoken pain. There's serenity and a quiet understanding of who they are. It's like the moment we shed everything we are not, our eyes finally become able to express everything we are, and then something even deeper begins to unfold. As we heal and realign, we begin to manifest a truer version of ourselves. And the eyes become the most honest reflection of that authenticity. That's why, when we look into the eyes of someone awakened, we feel something. Because it's not a surface-level exchange, it's a soul-to-soul connection. That's where the truth lives, the kind no words could ever explain. But spiritual awakening doesn't stop at the visible transformations. It goes far beyond. It reaches into what we've carried in silence, our entire lives, our ego, and this is where we encounter one of the most powerful, and at the same time, most disorienting phases of the journey. The ego death. The ego, that internal structure we've built over time to protect, assert, and define ourselves, begins to crumble. Not because we cease to exist, but because we start to realize that what we thought we were might never have been real at all. It's an uncomfortable process, deeply challenging. After all, we're so used to identifying with our achievements, our titles, the image we project to the world. And suddenly, all of it starts to lose its meaning. We begin to ask ourselves, who am I if I'm no longer the person who clung to results, to labels, to certainty? Who am I now when everything I used to lean on has crumbled? It's as if a part of us dies, leaving behind a void, a silent, scary, and yet necessary space. This emptiness can feel disorienting. Many people, in the midst of ego dissolution, feel lost, unsafe, as if they've been ripped away from their own identity. But that's exactly where true rebirth begins. When everything built on fear, control, and illusion starts to fall away. That's when the soul finally has room to bloom. The death of the ego is not the end of who you are. It's the beginning of who you came here to be. It's the chance to live with authenticity, with lightness, with truth. And even though this process can feel frightening, it is sacred. It's the crossing between the prison of a constructed identity and the freedom of a revealed essence. Because in the end, awakening isn't about changing who you are. It's about remembering who you've always been before the world taught you to forget. What often causes suffering during a spiritual awakening is not the transformation itself, but the resistance to it. We fight the flow. We try to hold on to who we've always been, even when everything inside us has already begun to shift. But spiritual awakening asks for surrender. It asks for trust. Trust that behind every deconstruction, there is a much truer reconstruction waiting to emerge. When we begin to accept the changes, even without fully understanding them, something softens. The process becomes lighter, more bearable, and, in certain moments, even liberating. Yes, there may be an emptiness, that feeling of being lost, of no longer recognizing yourself, but that emptiness is sacred. It is the silent pause between who you were and who you are about to become. It is temporary and deeply necessary. It's like the space between the last leaf falling in autumn and the first bud of spring. If you feel like you no longer fit into your old self, if you sense a disconnection from who you used to be, know this: it is not failure, it is purification. Vitite, old you, filled with fears, repeating patterns and limiting beliefs, is dissolving, because it can no longer hold the frequency your soul is ready to embody. It's a clear sign that your awakening is deepening, and that you are being shaped not to fit into the world, but to expand within yourself. And the most beautiful part, you are not losing your identity. You are being reborn in your essence. The ego, with its limitations, its masks, its fears, begins to give way to a freer, lighter, truer version of your being. And then, as your awakening advances, something even more fascinating unfolds. You begin to see the world through new eyes. Your sensitivity, both physical and energetic, expands. And with that, you begin to access layers of reality that were once invisible to you. You start to feel more deeply, more intensely. Emotions, both yours and others, become almost tangible. Sometimes you'll sense someone's joy before they even speak a word. In other moments, you'll feel a tightness in your chest, only to realize that the discomfort isn't yours. It belongs to someone nearby. Your perception becomes so sharp that being in certain environments can feel like diving into turbulent seas of energy. It's as if everything is more alive, more vibrant, more present. This sensitivity can be a gift, but also a test, because to feel the world so deeply is beautiful. But it requires inner preparation. It requires deep internal alignment. If you're not yet centered in your own energy, it can be hard to discern what is yours and what's coming from the outside. And that can feel overwhelming. That's why, the more sensitive you become, the more essential your commitment to energetic self-care becomes. Cleansing, grounding, balancing. The emotions and energies of others have always been there, but now you can actually feel them. And that is a gift, even when it feels like a burden. Because this heightened sensitivity is, in truth, a bridge, a direct connection between your heart and the rhythm of the universe. You are learning how to feel, not just with your body, but with your soul. And this is just the beginning of true expansion, the opening of the chakras. Those subtle energy centers throughout the body is an essential step in the spiritual awakening process. As each one activates, your energetic sensitivity deepens, and with it, your awareness expands. You begin to perceive not only human emotions, but vibrations in everything around you. Environments, objects, situations, everything pulses, everything vibrates. Nothing is inert anymore. Everything reveals its invisible essence. You walk into a room and you feel it. Before seeing, before hearing, you feel the energy of a space, of a conversation, of a single glance. Everything becomes perceptible with an almost magical clarity. It's as if the veils of reality begin to fall, and behind appearances, you start to see what was once hidden. The subtle forces shaping the world. But there's something important to remember. This new sensitivity, as beautiful as it is, can also be draining. You begin to absorb emotions, tensions, vibrations, and if you haven't yet learned to protect your energy, you might feel overwhelmed, like an emotional sponge, carrying far more than you should. That's when discernment becomes essential. The path is not to shut down or block everything, but to learn to choose what you allow in and what you release. It's a journey of energetic self-care, a daily practice of knowing what resonates and what you're ready to let go of. You weren't born to lose yourself in other people's emotions. You came here to turn your sensitivity into a superpower. When you understand and manage this ability with balance, it becomes one of your greatest allies. It allows for more authentic connections, opens doors that once went unnoticed, and above all, brings you closer and closer to your true essence. You begin to live with more awareness, more presence, more truth. And it's at this point that something extraordinary happens. The energy within you begins to accelerate, as if a greater force were propelling your being into a new frequency. This energetic acceleration doesn't only affect the spiritual realm, it echoes into the emotional, the physical, and the material. Manifestation speeds up. What once took months or even years to unfold now begins to take form with surprising speed. But like all energy in motion, this comes with two sides. Blessings arrive more easily, but so do challenges. Imagine your energy as a train. At the beginning of the journey, you're on a freight train, heavy, slow, loaded with limiting beliefs, emotional wounds, old blockages. That train moves, but with effort. Everything feels delayed. Dreams, clarity, lightness, all seem far away. But as you purify your energy, that train begins to transform. It starts to drop the weight, release the baggage, and then it becomes a bullet train, fast, fluid, unstoppable. Your energy is now vibrating at a different frequency, and with that, reality begins to respond instantly. Manifestations happen. People enter or exit your life in synchronicity. Doors open, but also old wounds rise. Forgotten pain resurfaces. It's as if everything that was once asleep within you awakens all at once. And yes, it can be intense, even frightening at times. But remember, this is not a setback. It's life showing you exactly where you need to look. This intensity isn't a punishment. It's a calling, an invitation to heal, to transform, to release everything that still holds your soul back from flying freely. Because the cleaner your energy is, the freer your manifestations will be. And for that, you'll need courage to walk through this acceleration phase with awareness. Instead of resisting, you begin to flow. You start to understand that behind every challenge, there's a message, and that every turbulence is, in truth, a hidden opportunity to grow, to heal, to be reborn. Energetic acceleration is not the end of the road. It's the beginning of a new level of existence, a level where your energy, aligned, conscious, and powerful, becomes the key to co-creating a reality that's lighter, more beautiful, and more true. By learning to flow with energetic acceleration, you don't just manifest faster, you also develop something even more powerful: spiritual clarity. And this clarity isn't just about seeing better, it's about seeing differently. What once felt confusing, tangled, or foggy now begins to reveal itself with crystal clarity. Like a window that once cleaned finally lets the light in, revealing what was always there but never clearly seen. This window analogy runs deep, because throughout life we collect emotional dust, unhealed traumas, beliefs that aren't truly ours, experiences that leave behind marks, and all of this creates a thick layer over our perception. But when you begin to cleanse your energetic field, to release those dense memories and align your chakras, that dirt begins to dissolve. And with it, the true outlines of reality begin to emerge. You start to see not only with more sensitivity, but also with more precision. Your intuition, once muffled by the noise of the world, now whispers with clarity. You feel the truth in the spaces between words. You sense the intention behind every gesture. You pick up on energies that once passed unnoticed. It's as if life starts speaking to you in a new language, softer, deeper, more real. And this new vision goes far beyond the personal. It extends into the invisible structures that shape the world. Social systems, collective patterns, power dynamics, they all begin to reveal themselves. You no longer just react to what you see. You start to understand what drives it all. Spiritual clarity allows you to connect the dots of a reality that once felt fragmented. It hands you an inner map, and with it, the compass of discernment. Making decisions becomes lighter. Following your intuition becomes natural, and above all, living in alignment with your essence becomes inevitable. This clarity is a gift of awakening. It isn't forced. It blooms, and the more you purify yourself, the clearer it becomes. In a world so full of noise and distractions, this clarity becomes your light. It guides your steps, it protects you, and it connects you to what is real and within you and around you. Because in the end, awakening is this: learning to truly see with your heart, with your soul, with your energy. And once you begin to see this way, there's no going back. You begin to live with more wisdom, more authenticity, and far more presence. Thank you for walking this soul journey with me. If this message touched your heart, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear this too. And tell me in the comments, what has this clarity been revealing to you? What have you been feeling, sensing, or rediscovering within yourself? I would love to read your story. Thank you for being here. Take care, keep shining. And I'll see you next time with more light, more truth, and more awakening. Now, as we reach the end of this revealing expedition, I want to express my deepest gratitude to you for staying with us until the end. Your dedication and curiosity are the fuel that drives us to explore, demystify, and share these intriguing stories. I want to share something special with you. As a fan of the Map of Higher Self channel, you are about to embark on a unique journey of self-discovery and mental formation. I present to you the Map of Higher Self, a revolutionary ebook that will redefine your mental reality. As the creator of this content and leader of the Map of Higher Self channel, I'm sharing my deepest experiences and valuable lessons with you. Each chapter of this ebook is a reflection of my journey, filled with practical lessons I've lived and transformed into wisdom. Don't miss this opportunity to transform your life. Click the link in the pinned comment and start your journey towards self-knowledge and positivity today. Imagine yourself for a moment as one of the ancient explorers who ventured into unknown territories, guided only by the flame of curiosity and the thirst for knowledge. Every piece of information, every symbol deciphered, is like a map leading us deeper into the labyrinth of the unknown. And just like those explorers, you too are now a little closer to the truth, carrying with you a new understanding of the forces that shape our world. Your presence here is not just a personal achievement, but a valuable contribution to a vibrant community of curious and knowledge-seeking individuals. Every view, every comment, every like is a step we take together toward a deeper and collective understanding. You are not just a spectator, you are a partner in this journey of discovery. So, as we close this chapter, I invite you to reflect on today's revelations and prepare for the next steps. We will continue unraveling secrets, questioning established truths, and exploring the mysteries around us. Your participation is essential, not just for the growth of this channel, but for the expansion of our horizon of knowledge. Until the next discovery. And remember, the real power lies in questioning and understanding what is beyond the visible. And before you go, don't miss these 2 videos I've selected especially for you. They're packed with deep knowledge and fascinating discoveries that you'll love. Click on one of them and continue your journey of self-discovery and the pursuit of wisdom with the amazing content our channel has to offer.